Most of us do not know where our next meal comes from. Not really. We just know the card swipes, the app works, the grocery store shelves are full. We live in a world of digital promises, but on July 8th, 2026, these promises were broken. In Yakima, Washington, the heat was already unbearable, but the real fever was about to break in the streets. This is The Crash, Episode 1, Day in Yakima. In the modern age, we take everything for granted. The food on the shelves, the water in the tap, the digital numbers in a bank account that tells us we're safe. We argue over politics, even when we agree. We point fingers at everyone but ourselves. But when the world breaks, do we become the monsters from the stories we once read? Or do we finally find out who we really are? The sun didn't just shine on Yakima that morning, it pressed. By 8 a.m. on July 8, 2026, the heat was already shimmering off the cracked asphalt of the trailer park, thick enough to taste. The sun didn't just shine on Yakima that morning, it pressed. By 8 a.m. on July 8, 2026, the heat was already shimmering off the cracked asphalt of the trailer park, thick enough to taste. In Trailer 201, the air was stale, smelling of old coffee and dust. An alarm blared, a hand, calloused and scarred from a decade of labor, slapped the phone into silence. Already? Tracy Hill muttered to the ceiling. He dragged himself into a cramped bathroom. The shower head groaned, spitting out lukewarm water that did little to cut the exhaustion behind his eyes. He scrubbed his short brown hair and trimmed beard with mechanical precision. He was a man of routine. Routine was the only thing that kept the memories from catching up to him. He dressed in his uniform, a plain white tee, a faded flannel, and work boots that had seen better years. In the mirror, a 6'2" framed stared back, strong shoulders, but eyes that looked like they've seen 100 years of bad news. 10 years, he whispered, his voice cracking. He looked at the empty space on the dresser where a photo used to sit. 10 years since I last held you. A single tear tracked through the stubble on his cheek. He wiped it away with the back of the rough hand, jaw tightening. Not today. Just get through another day. The kitchen was silent. He bypassed the fresh eggs in the fridge for a frozen breakfast bowl, salt and fuel while the microwave hummed. He stepped into the small porch. The air hit him like a physical weight. He lit a cigarette, the smoke curling into the dead, still air. Hey, Tracy! Diego was leaning against his own trailer across the way. He was Tracy's opposite, shorter, energetic, and always wearing a grin that seemed to defy the dirt on his face. Morning, Tracy called back, exhaling a gray cloud, ready for the furnace. Man, forget the heat, Diego said, walking over with a restless energy. You check your phone? 4 of the big banks, Union Trust, North Star, they're dark. Cyber attack. People are freaking out because of their cards are getting declined at the pumps. Tracy frowned, flicking ash. Union Trust? That's half the coast. I'm with the local credit union. Should be fine. How about you? Diego laughed, though it didn't reach his eyes. Bro, I keep my cash in a boot. After the immigration sweeps last year, I don't trust a digital screen to tell me what I'm worth. He paused, his smile fading. Still, haven't heard from my brother, though. The phones are getting spotty down near the border. I'm sorry, man. He's tough. He'll call. Tracy crushed his cigarette under his boot. I'm going to eat real quick. We gotta get to the site. The drive was a blur, of dust and Diego's nervous chatter at the job site. The heat was a monster. The rhythm of the day was set by the thud of hammers and tiny sounds of a radio playing 80s rock. But the music kept getting interrupted. Unconfirmed reports of service outages in London and Tokyo. Treasury Department urging calm at the ATM lines grow. The drywallers stopped talking about sports. They started talking about gold, food, who to blame. The air felt charged, like the moment before a lightning strike. By 5 p.m., Tracy's shirt was salted and sweet. Beer? He asked, wiped out. God, yes, Diego replied. The Dry Creek Bar was a dim, wood-paneled sanctuary. Behind the bar was Maria. She had tattoos that told stories up her arms and a way of looking at Tracy that made the last 10 years feel a little less heavy. You look like hell, Tracy, she said, sliding a cold bottle towards him before he even asked. Always know how to make a guy feel special, Maria. Tracy's lips twitched into the first real smile of the day. I'm in a mood, she admitted, leaning on the bar. I had to bounce Big Hank an hour ago. He tried to pay for a round of shots. His card bounced, and he started swinging, screaming about a government conspiracy. I think I broke his nose with the cash drawer. Tracy chuckled, reaching out. He meant to grab his beer, but his hand lingered near hers on the polished wood. Need a bodyguard? He said. Maria tilted her head, a playful spark in her eyes. I think I can handle myself, but you're welcome to stay and watch the door. It's a date, Tracy said softly, the warmth in his chest and nothing to do with the Yakima sun. For a second, the world felt small and safe. Maria laughed at her cheeks flushing pink as she moved to adjust a strand of her hair behind her ear. Then the TV above the bar flickered. The baseball game vanished, replaced by breaking news slide that had no sound. The bar went dead silent. The jukebox cut out. Every phone in the room buzzed at the exact same time, a synchronized, haunting vibration. Tracy looked down at his phone. Service unavailable. On the TV, a news anchor sat at a desk, looking pale, scrolling. Ticker across the bottom read, Fed declares banking holiday. Nationwide system collapse. Remain in your homes. Tracy looked at Maria. The playfulness was gone. In its place was a cold, rising dread. The modern age has just ended. The crash has only just begun. To see how Tracy and the others survive the road to Montana, make sure to subscribe and tune in next week for episode 2, The Boiling Point, for a look behind the scenes and exclusive trailers of the chaos to come. Follow me on TikTok. All the links are in the description down below. The world is changing. Don't get left in the dark. I'm your host, Night Owl Tales, and I'll see you in the next one.